Thank you, Dawn. My name is Jean Love. I welcome you to this spring equinox ceremony. We are doing this live stream from the Lanai at New Thought Center. 4 times a year, we set aside our normal Sunday format and invite Don Barnett to come from Hawaii and lead us in solstice and equinox ceremonies. This is one of those Sundays. To allow enough time for the ceremony, we add an extra half an hour. So today's service will last approximately 2 hours. We will take care of New Thoughts announcements now before I introduce Dawn. For the people attending in person, you are welcome to leave a donation in the koa bowl that we'll put up by the exit as you leave for the Lanai today. For those watching online, you can find information on New Thought Center website about ways to donate. Your gifts are appreciated. So with our coming attractions, next Sunday, the 28th, we have Craig Villarubia, Forgiveness as a Means to Everything You Want, music by. And this meeting is going to be in person with safety rules. And then it'll be live streamed from New Thought Lanai by YouTube. And then you can watch the recording later in the day on YouTube. And then on the April 4th, we have Linda Boozer, Raising Ourselves to Easter Joy. And we'll be meeting in person with all the safety rules here on the Lanai. And it'll be live streamed from New Thought Lanai and then YouTubed. And you can watch that later also. So weekly classes, Monday, we have gentle yoga with Maria Mann from 5 to 6:30 p.m., $15 to $20 drop-in fee. Thursday, Living Aloha group from 4 to 5 with Davina Mara by donation. Sundays, group coaching from 4 to 5 p.m. with the Davina Mara by donation. And then there is a special starting Thursday, April 8th, 6-week book study begins, Receiving Love by Hendricks and Hunt from 3 to 4:30 with Davina Mar, $30 for the entire series. And Tuesdays, April 13th, Heart to Heart Conversations Practice Group from 4 to 6 p.m., facilitated by Davina Mar. Please RSVP by the 12th of April. The cost is $17. So the special announcement, of course, is that homecoming here back at New Thought, the first service will be since 6 months with the option for everyone to attend. Of course, you need reservations. We're encouraged because we can have a limited number. So we need to 6 feet apart and wear masks. And except if you live with a person, then of course you don't have to wear a mask with them. Our mailing list, if you want to receive the newsletter, you can sign up on our website, is www.newthoughtcenterofhawaii.com. And also you can find New Thought Center info on Facebook and Dolphin Partners. So now I'd love to introduce Dawn. She's been leading this quarterly ceremonies for New Thought Center for 26 years. We are so grateful. And she draws from several sources in creating this program. 2 years of shamanic foundational training with Angeles Arian, author of The Fourfold Way. 1 year of shamanic training, including drum making, with artist and teacher Ellen Fishburne, training in hypnotherapy with David Quigley and Yoko Haswaga, and the ceremonial practice of author, teacher and ceremonious Sedona Catthill. Don studied with Sidonia for several months and also did a 10-day vision quest in Death Valley. So we're so grateful to have you here, Dawn, and alive again. So welcome, Dawn Barnett.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I take this off now? Aloha. Aloha. Thank you all for joining us here at New Thought Center of Hawaii. It's such a privilege and an honor to come and share this work every season. I think I've only missed one in 26 years because I had laryngitis. I was crazy. But we even made it through the whole pandemic so far, even though it wasn't here or in person. It's so nice to be actually on the lanai and here at New Thought with a few people rather than doing it at home. We've had some technical difficulties I think we're getting over gratefully and gracefully. So happy to actually be here in person. So today we're celebrating. I think it happened yesterday. Yeah, the equinox, equal day, equal night. The changing of the season, which always shifts things around, causes a little bit of chaos, and brings things and always want to remind us to remember, like the week before, the week during, and the week after, that whatever really comes up for us, if we pay attention, that's kind of what is the main thing that's going to be going on for us in these next 3 months. And I love the teaching that I share here, which is from my teacher, Angela Sarian, The Fourfold Way, and helps us reconnect with our ability to choose to show up and be present, to tell the truth without blame or judgment, to pay attention to what has heart and meaning, and to let go of outcome, being open to any outcome, which are really beautiful, simple, deep, complex principles to live by, which I love to remind myself of. So we're stepping into, or stepped into already, the spring equinox, this time of spring, which is new beginnings and planting seeds. And what are we going to make? What are we going to create this time in this next 3 months? So I like to start by having us stand up and call in the directions, and then we'll go from there. If I can stand. So wherever we are, if we can I turn around? Yeah. Face the east. Oh, great spirits of the east, we call you, we invite you, we humbly invoke your presence in the sacred circle that we're creating here today in honor of the turning of the wheel of the seasons and the cycles. One more time. Oh, we want to call on the quality of the element of air. The wind, that which inspires us, that which we breathe. May it be clean and unpolluted. We're so lucky here in Hawaii, yeah. Oh, the element of air, the mind, the intellect, the spirit. And we call on the winged creatures, the great eagle that flies high. May we see from the eyes of the eagle and look down upon our lives with that higher perspective to weed out and see what no longer serves us. We call on all the beautiful winged creatures, the hawk and the eo that we have here and all over, and the butterfly that teaches us so much about transformation. And we call on the qualities of the archetype of the visionary, that part of us that's able to remember the face we had before we were born, remember our original purpose for incarnating here this time around, remember our life dream, remember the medicine, the talents, the gifts, the resources that we each came in with that's unique to ourselves, nowhere else duplicated. This is the time to reconnect with our spontaneity, our authenticity, our creativity. Mm. Oh, our mind and our intellect. This is the time when we take what's just a thought, what's in spirit, and bring it and manifest it into form. Oh, well, we remember to stand in the center of our sacred hoop and see the four ways of seeing with insight, intuition, perception, and inner vision. Oh, great spirits of the East, of the springtime, of the visionary, of the air. Please come and be with us in our circle today. Aho. And making a quarter turn to the right, we face the south. Oh, great spirits of the south, we call you, we invite you, we humbly invoke your presence in the sacred circle as we come together to celebrate and honor the new season. We call on all the qualities in the south, that of the element of fire. Oh, Pele, we call you, come and be with us here. Help us to burn away all that is no longer serving us. And we call on all the desert creatures. The snake that sheds its skin, the coyote that's the trickster, and the small mouse that just pays attention to what's right in front of it and helps us to see what's right in front of us, to stay current and present in the now with what's right in front of us. And we call on the archetype of the healer, that part of us that's able to open and receive love in the exact proportion that we give love. We all need to receive more. And we take a look at our heart, our four-chambered heart. Is our heart open, clear, full, and strong? And can we call in that divine child within that's able to see with eyes of wonder, awe, and curiosity? May we always see with eyes of curiosity. We call on that ability to heal ourselves and to heal those around us and to open our hearts. Great spirits of the south, the element of fire that teaches us to be in touch with our passion and our ability to have compassion for ourselves and others. Oh, we call you the healer and the fire and all the desert creatures. Please come into our circle now. Aho. Face the west. Oh, great spirits of the West, we call you, we invite you. We humbly invoke your presence in the sacred circle as we come together to honor a new season. We call on the element of water and all the waters on this planet, the great oceans and seas, the rivers and the streams and the lakes, and the waters within our own body, the blood and the lymph. Great grandmother ocean, help us to go deep and be fluid and flexible. And we call on all the water creatures, the amazing whales that have been gifting us all for almost 6 months now here in Hawaii. We've been so blessed with those big, beautiful creatures that are the record keepers of this planet. And the amazing dolphins that teach us so much about being playful and being in a pod, in a family, in a community. And the amazing turtles and fish and all the creatures in the sea that are there and that teach us so much. We call you, all your qualities and energies to be with us here. And we're also going to call on the great bear that hibernates in the winter, that teaches us about introspection. And the ancestors, oh my goodness, now we have so many more ancestors. Our Hank, and my teacher, Angela Zarian, and so many have passed on now. We call all you teachers and ancestors to come and be with us here in this circle, to help us to let go of outcome, being open to any outcome, to not be attached. We call on all the qualities of the inner teacher that lives by this way, that's able to be a fair witness and hold space for ourselves and others in a non judgmental way. It's able to just be the container for all that is, for all that each one of us are going through in these times. Great spirits of the West, the element of water and all the water creatures and the bear, the ancestors and the teacher and the wisdom. Please come and be with us here in our circle today. Aho. And turning one more time, we face the north. Oh, we call on the element of earth. Maybe be like the standing people, the trees, with our roots deeply grounded into the earth, going all the way down to the center of the earth. We call on all of the four-legged creatures, in particular our pets, our animals, our companions, the dogs and the cats that live with us, that teach us so much, and the wolf, and the buffalo, and all the four-leggeds that have come to teach us so much. We call on you. Oh, all those elements, all the rocks and the gems that come forward to be with us and to heal us and teach us so much. And we call on that archetype within, the warrior, that part of us that's able to choose to show up and be present fully in our power and our medicine, nowhere else duplicated on the planet. That part of us that's able to clearly and groundedly say yes and say no to whatever it is that comes forward. That part of us that's able to honor and respect our own and other people's boundaries. Oh, that part of us that just shows up fully in our power and is able to take a stand, take a position for what it is that we believe in, and able to share that in a way that is our truth, but not necessarily everybody's truth, and is able to empower each person to have their own truth and be empowered to share that too. Help us to speak our truth at right timing, context, uh, language in a way that can be heard and felt by others, that empowers and inspires them to find their own truth and share it and communicate it in a good way, so that we're never having power over, but we're empowering each other and coming together as community to share our power. Oh, great spirits of the north, the element of earth, the warrior within, and all the four-leggeds, please come into our circle now. Oh, and standing with our hands above our heads. Oh, God, Goddess, all that is above, great grandfather sky, help us to open, to receive your guidance. Come into our circle. Be with us that we may connect with the source of all and receive guidance and wisdom and healing as we come together in community in this ceremony honoring the changing of the season. Please come and be with us now. Aho. And placing our hands upon the floor, great grandmother Earth, the body who we walk upon, please remind us to walk gently on the earth, to reuse, reduce, and recycle more and more and as much as we can. Remind us that all things come from you and all things return to you, and all the beauty and all the abundance and all the prosperity that's all around us all the time, that feeds us and nourishes us on all the levels, all comes from the earth, all comes from you, and then all returns to you. Great grandmother, please come and be with us in our circle. Aho. And lastly, we place our hands on our hearts. I can find mine. We call on that divine spark, the God that's within each of us that we carry, that's part of us, that parts that's connected to our power, our creativity, our love, our wisdom, our divine child, that spark that is God within. We ask that that part come forward to be here present in the circle today as we honor the changing of the season one more time. Aho. And then usually when we're a bunch of us, we pass around the talking stick and everybody says their name in an affirmation and then we sing their name. So I'm just going to suggest that we all do it together and we just say, I'm Dawn, a ray of the Great Spirit. And you say your name and your affirmation, and then we'll sing our own names. How about that? I am Dawn, a ray of the Great Spirit. This is dawn, dawn, dawn. And hopefully all of us have been called into this virtual and real circle. Hope. My stick wanted to be used at least a little. So, wow, the time of the visionary, kind of exciting. New growth. We don't see it quite as much here in Hawaii as a lot of the rest of the world because it's kind of things grow here year round. My daughter's getting ready to go to Iowa so she can experience being born and raised here, so she can experience the four seasons and snow. I lived in Iowa as a child, so I remember 6 feet of snow. Anyway, so right now, all over the world in the northern hemisphere, it's growing. So, what is it that we want to grow and honor? Thank you for the flowers for the altar. What is it that inspires us? Um, yeah, what inspires us? So many things inspire us, all the new growth and everything that's going on. Hank inspires me. Really miss him, even though I didn't see him that much. Sad to think we can't come back and he's here. Thanks, Hank, for everything. So the visionary supports our ability to make the truth visible, which I feel like is more important now than ever. Making the truth visible. You know, what really resonates with that? There's so many, well, there's a lot of lies out there about a lot of things, about our health and about the virus, about everything. And so, how can we penetrate and make the truth visible? And I believe that most of what's in the media, we'd have to scrutinize pretty hard and look for other ways. Lots of other information out there that is being censored that's very important. So I'm about making the truth visible, and I want to recommend everybody listen to Zach Bush. He's a doctor, triple board certified, and he did I don't know, a 3-hour presentation recently, which is a look back on the whole year about what's really going on in the world and with viruses and bacterias and parasites and all the things that were here before us that we live with. And that's the truth that I like to resonate with in this difficult time. And how can we do that without blame or judgment? So very challenging times, very, very challenging times for us to penetrate and make penetrate what's not true and what is true and navigate that and stay healthy and stay in community and stay connected and all of the things that are being challenged. And what are the blessings? I mean, one of the challenges of or the shadow side of the visionary is being, fixated on what's not working. And I kind of get a visual of that, of like a computer screen, and like, well, actually this part is about making mistakes, looking the fixed perspective, but also exaggerating what's not working, like seeing everything that's not working. I have this tendency is like, as one little bad thing should just be 1%, right? But I make it like 80 or 90%. And then just focus on that instead of focusing on the 80% that's good and right and our blessings and powerful in our lives. So I have to remember to just shrink that back down to the 1%. And, really just see the beauty and the blessings and of this time. And the blessings are so much about being able to really go within and really connect with the people that are most important in our lives, our families and our true friends. And maybe we lost some friends and we lost some community, but then we came back together more deeply with those that we're meant to be connected to now. So where was the all the list here? So that focusing or fixating on what's not working. These are the addictive patterns of the visionary, which I think it's always really healthy and helpful for us to look at those again each season. Um, Magnifying negative experiences and blowing them out of proportion. That's like what I was talking about. Looking at life from a fixed perspective. So that idea of like curiosity, like how can we just always be curious and never just fixed, like, I know that person, I know this, I know that, this is my truth. We get so stuck. And so, how can we turn it around and look with those eyes of curiosity? Oh, what'll happen next? Oh, what does this really mean? What's the blessing in it? What's the positive side? Yeah, seeing only part of things, not the whole thing. This is happening to all of us. And it all has to fall apart for it to come back together in a better way. Because the way that humans live on the planet right now, I believe, is unsustainable. And we're heading towards extinction by living this way. And so that has to change. And so this, what's going on now, is part of the disintegration. The powers trying to control everything and make a lot of money off of it. It's unsustainable. We can't keep going this way. The way they make food and pharmaceuticals and control people. Um, and the other addictive pattern, it leads us into the inability to trust our intuition and to see where our blind spots are. We get really stuck in patterns of believing and seeing things and perceiving things. And oftentimes they're not correct. We just get, right from our childhood, we're told a whole bunch of stuff from our families, our parents, society, and they just become our beliefs. We're like a little sponge, and it takes a long time to unravel them and really figure out what's the truth and what isn't, what's just a thought that's not even true. My father was so judgmental with me growing up. We actually had meetings of criticism and self-criticism. I had to write essays if I did something wrong. And so it's been really challenging, to unravel it. When I have these thoughts, I just have to tell myself, oh yeah, that's the lie. That's not true. The thoughts like, oh, that was stupid. You're so stupid. You're bad or whatever. And I made a mistake, and I beat myself up. So I got to, say, no, that's the lie. That's not true. So the human resource waiting to be claimed is the ability to see the blessing in every single thing, even if it looks bad, even if somebody dies. lots of people are dying right now, and they always have. We just have a new name for it. But the blessings and the gifts and talents that we all have, those are what are waiting to come forward, when we sort of live in the shadow of the visionary of not really looking and honoring the four ways of seeing, which is vision, which is a sight, having sight and being able to competently discern things. How do we use our minds? Do we just trust everything and go into a panic? Or do we really discern what is the truth, what's right? And using our perception, which is like our senses, and other things besides just our mind. And intuition, that ability to just like know things. Um, yeah, how in touch with that are we? Our society pretty much doesn't allow for that in a lot of ways. So unless we really practice listening, going within and spending the time to listen to our intuition, and going to classes. I went to psychic school for a year to, learn how to ground and go inside and listen. So I find it most helpful to go into nature and walk. There's um, tools of each archetype, and so one of the tools of the visionary is a walking meditation. And so walking in nature really helps us to get back in touch with our truth, with our authentic self, with our creativity. So taking walks every day in nature as a meditation is a way for us to get in touch with this visionary archetype inside. Also, bell work. Every culture and society uses the bell to call people. So wearing bells on your ankles or bringing a bell with you into nature helps us get in touch with the vision. Going on vision quests, that was a major life change for me when I did that in Death Valley for 10 days, alone, fasting, crying for a name and a vision. And it was really, my life changed as a result. Actually, I had a lot of fear before that because my sister had gone crazy and committed suicide when she was 24. And I felt like if I was alone, I might go crazy and kill myself or die. So going on that vision quest was like so powerful because I realized that I wasn't afraid at all. I didn't feel alone, even though I was without people on those 3 days alone. I just felt connected to everything, the bushes and the ground and the stars. And I was talking to them. But I mean, I just like all the fear that I had going in that I would go crazy and die. This was eradicated by spending that much time alone in nature. So vision questing is, and you don't have to do it for 3 days or in Death Valley. You can, just go camping or go for your meditative walks. Um, prayer and meditation are tools to get us more in touch with our visionary. Also, reconnects us with our spirituality and singing. So singing, yay! Jane's such a good singer. So it's a time to think about all of our favorite songs and songs that we've written. In fact, on the Vision Quest, when I was heading back and my backpack was so heavy, I started singing this song, and as long as I was singing it, my backpack wasn't even heavy. And as soon as I would stop singing, it was like, ugh. So singing is very powerful, really connects us back to our spirit and our purpose. And although, we have to realize there's so many songs out there that have not the best words. So it's good to pick and choose our songs that make them inspirational instead of devastating in some way or another. um, so there's also a look at our um, mirrors. It's kind of a neat thing. The three kinds of mirrors. So there's like clear mirrors where there's people that we look at and we think, oh, I want to be like them, or, they're so cool. But really, it's a reflection of the goodness in ourselves that we're not really willing to admit or stand in that power. So they're individuals that we idealize and believe we can't be like. Um, so good to think about who those people might be in your life. And then there's the smoky mirrors, which are people that we don't really like and we have difficulty with, and we're hope that we're not like them at all. But they also represent our shadow and things that we've projected onto them. And then there's the split mirrors, and there are people that we really like and admire, but we're afraid of, and we feel constricted around them. So it's also a nice time to take a look at that. I think I have a a boss that wrote me up, and she wasn't my boss, she was my coworker back then, but now she's my boss. I definitely feel constricted around her, but I also really appreciate her because she's really smart. She's taken up on this job that I don't none of us would want. So I appreciate her, but I kind of yeah, there's still people I'm afraid of. Got to work on that. So I'm feeling moved to share this story from Bruce Lipton. I just love the guy, and feels like a good segue into also what's going on. He actually wrote this many years ago, but it just seems so pertinent to the world that we're in right now. And so it's in the larger body of humanity, many are sick and dying, and there are more and more suicides, which definitely has been happening in these times. A lot of fear, a lot of suicides. Many believe the end is nearing. Systems are failing because they're based on beliefs such as survival of the fittest, competition, war, domination, and power over. We are in the process of moving from an unsustainable civilization to a higher level of civilization that is sustainable. New belief systems have been growing since the 1960s. There are new technologies and new jobs. Choice is now up to the individual. How do you see things? We are creating something far greater than anything ever before. The old fears and beliefs undermine this transformation. We must let go of fears and embrace what we are changing into. Technology has facilitated this movement towards new civilization. We have the web, which is now censoring a lot of things, but it's still there and we still can find alternate information if we look for it. Cell phones have enabled most people in the world to have instant access to information and communication. The media, which was always and still is controlled by corporate powers, aren't able to control all of the information. Um, you need this technology to live on the planet with a small enough footprint so as not to kill the planet, the environment, and thus ourselves. In the history of this planet, there have been 5 major extinctions. We are now facing the 6th. All previous extinctions were caused by meteors hitting the planet, causing upheaval and wiping out all of life, which then start over. This 6th extinction being caused not by a meteor hitting the planet, but by humans living unsustainably on the planet. There are now crises everywhere. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and institutions are crashing everywhere. He wrote this like 10 years ago or something, and it's still happening. We're in the midst of it. There are now crises. Oh, yeah. Our dollar is about to crash still. We are in upheaval. There is a lot of fear and the belief that things are falling apart. We need things to fall apart. We mistakenly believe that we are each single living entities, but this is a misperception. Each of us has 50 trillion cells, and each cell has its own intelligence. Each system within a human body has the same systems in each cell. We can look at each cell as tiny people living in a community. The health of the community is dependent on cooperation and health of the individual cells. We need cooperation, not competition, to survive and be healthy. We need our community to work together. The caterpillar and the butterfly. Imagine shrinking down to be one of billions of cells living in a community. They're all working. Each has their job. Each day the caterpillar grows. All the jobs are producing and the economy is good. Then one day everything slows down. Businesses are slowing down, not eating, growing, or building as much. The cells are looking around. Some are being laid off. The economy is no longer good. Cells commit suicide. Our cells do this, apoptosis. People do this. Structures are falling apart. There are no jobs. Cells are getting sick and dying. Most believe the end is coming. Then, from the population of cells with the same genetic makeup, new cells start to develop, and they are called the imaginal cells. They're genetically identical, but they perceive the world differently. They respond differently. And as their numbers increase, there is a transition from the destruction of the caterpillar. Under the leadership of the new imaginal cells, the cells reorganize themselves, new jobs coming into being, new structures are created. Emerging from the decay is the beautiful butterfly. And it happens a lot. Civilization is then taken to a higher level of evolution. The earth is in a state of decay and upheaval, like the caterpillar is prior to its change into a butterfly. Things are falling apart. But the numbers of imaginal humans are growing constantly as we assist humanity into the next stage of evolution to a new civilization where we know for sure that we're all connected, we're all one, and we learn how to live sustainably upon planet Earth together in cooperation. Yay! Yay. That inspires me. So this time is a time to look at our teachers. That who inspires us? What inspires us? Really, plants growing inspire me. Beauty inspires me. People that are living their dream inspire me. Doing what I love inspires me. You know, I get to be a beekeeper and go out there and hang out with the colony of bees that are all one. They're all these individual bees flying around and they each have their own job. Worker bees only live for 45 to 60 days. A queen can live for up to 8 years. If, it's easy to, queens die for all kinds of reasons, but they can live that long. And then the drones only live, for about 45 or 60 days too. And they're just there to eat and then fly and mate with the queen and then they die. So very interesting watching the hive mind and the hive, and it's inspirational. It's really wonderful working with the bees. So, what inspires you? What brings you joy? What helps you to stay? I love this idea of staying in the center of our sacred hoop. Um, what helps us stay in it? What people are around us that are our support system that help us to stay there, to stay true to ourselves, and what kind of people and situations take us out of our sacred hoop and make it so that we're uh, not living our dream, not telling our truth, hiding, rehearsing, making ourselves small, comparing ourselves to others. So, yeah, make sure that we know what people and places help us to stay, grounded and center in our truth and our authenticity, and what people, places, and situations take us out of there, and make sure we have at least a balance, that we have important people around us that actually help us stay true to ourselves more. So I guess we'll do our journey, shamanic journey. So it was interesting. I had a nice conversation with Davina this couple of weeks ago, and um, it brought to mind something that I haven't really remembered sharing, because in the shamanic understanding, we have the upper world, where we go to connect with our guides, and it could be Buddha or Jesus or anybody, any figure, just an angel. It can be anything, that usually we see as like a being in the upper world, and the idea is that you go up, and it could be an escalator, an elevator, an airplane, a cloud, on the back of a bird, whatever it is, and you kind of get to like a membrane, and you pop through, and you're in an upper world landscape, and that's supposedly where our like guides hang out, and so we journey there, and then but then it's not like we're on a cloud, or it's like it's a landscape like it would be here, but it's up there, and that's kind of where those kind of beings hang out. Well, it's the same for the lower world. And so in this context, it's not the underworld. It's not like that's like Hades, or, going down where they say is hell. The idea is that there's these three worlds: the upper world, the middle world where we live, the mundane, everyday world, and then there's the lower world. And in the lower world, it's the same thing. You journey down through a tunnel, through the earth, a certain amount of time or whatever, and it's dark and like a tunnel, and then you come out into a lower world landscape. And that's the idea, is that that's where our animal allies and our power animal like live there. And also it's nice to take the power animal or the allies that we're working with, and bring them into the middle world by putting them on our altar and having photographs of them to remind us to connect with them, because they're there to help us. And so when we go down to the lower world, we're not going to the underworld. We're just going to the place where our animals hang out, and they're always hanging out there. So um, it's not like going to hell or anything. So just thought I would share that, because I think some people think that, or still have that idea in their mind when we go down. So disperse that bubble. And that's also, again, why shamanism in itself, and the idea of the work, was so powerful to me, because when I was younger, I remember like seeking, a way to be more connected with spirituality in a way that really resonated with me. And, first, of course, there was like witchcraft and stuff, but there was so much negative connotations about witchcraft and dark witches and evil things. And then even if they were like good witches, just the word witch and all the connotations that went with that, so much judgment, and then also very rigid in the way that you call the directions, or just the seemed pretty rigid with you have to say spells a certain way and stuff. So that was what really when I found shamanism, I was just like, none of that negativity and all the judgment and all the stuff. Just a real pure way to work with energies and connect with the ancient way. Show up, pay attention, tell the truth, and let go. The four principles just really resonated with me. So we're going to do a journey to connect with our face we had before we were born. What is it? I mean, I believe everybody believes differently, and that's okay. But I believe like that our soul chose to incarnate, and maybe we've had millions, hundreds, whatever of lifetimes, and we I think we choose our parents, and we choose to come in, and we have gifts, and we've experienced everything, and then we come in to a body to evolve and grow, and sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. um, Depending on all the choices that we make, and our beliefs and everything. So I feel like this time is about kind of reconnecting with our gifts and talents. Like, what is it? What is it that's unique to us that we can bring forward to ourselves, our family, our communities? That's like everybody has something special to offer the planet, the community. So how can we reconnect with what our special gifts are, and bring them into our being, into our bodies, into our lives more? So what is it that we came here to do, to share, to be, to grow from? So I guess I'm not going to stand up and walk around. I'm just going to do it from sitting here. So I invite everyone at home and everybody here. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 of us here. We're all more than 6 feet apart. And everyone but me has masks. And my drum is flat because it was raining heavily.
You can use mine. It's hoarse.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I love my drum. It'll probably get better. Oh, you got a nice handle. Maybe the owl wants to do the journey. A little more resonant. All right, so I invite all of you to lay down and get really comfortable and maybe even put something over your eyes so that helps you to have a darkness instead of the light, if you can, and to be as comfortable as you can. I invite you to take some nice deep breaths all the way down into your lower belly. In through the nose and out through the mouth. I invite you to not cross your legs or your arms. And to just feel your body supported by your blankets and pillows and whatever's on the floor. I invite you to drop a grounding cord from the base of your spine. Imagine that it's just as wide as your body and kind of goes just down like the trunk of a tree down into the earth, and then just grow those roots all the way down into the center of the earth. And you feel totally grounded, connected to Mother Earth. And I invite you to imagine a star in the heavens, a star that was born when you were born, beaming some golden clear light down through the crown chakra. I have to cough. Hang on. Sorry. And I invite you to bring that golden light down on either side of your spine. And when it gets to your base chakra, about half of it goes down your grounding cord, and the other half comes up through the center of your body, out the top of your head, about 2 or 3 feet, and then it's like an umbrella, and just fountains down all around you. Just imagine that light is just continuing to move down your back, up through the middle, and then coming down all around your body. And imagine that it creates like a bubble of light, protecting your body as you prepare to go on this journey. Completely grounded and protected. Also dropping some grounding cords from the bottoms of your feet. And imagine them going down through the floor and the foundation, down to the center of the earth. And taking a deep breath, imagine that you can pull up this beautiful, brilliant energy from the earth all the way up into the bottoms of your feet, up your legs, into your pelvis. Into your chest, down your arms, up into your head. And then just imagine that you're completely grounded and protected and connected. to the earth and to the heavens. And now I invite you to imagine that you're walking on a path in nature, one that you take on these journeys or one that's really in nature, whatever works best for you. And noticing how narrow or wide is the path? What time of day is it? How is the sun hitting your body? What season is it? You feel the wind? Is there a smell or a taste? What's growing on either side of the path? Involving all of your senses, your sight, your smell, your touch, your taste, your eyes, your vision. Noticing what shoes you're wearing or not, what clothes you're wearing. Just have all of you walking on this path. And I invite you to imagine that up ahead is kind of a little curve in the path. And as you start to move towards that curve, all of a sudden you see up ahead a beautiful, huge tree. Beautiful tree. Just notice everything about the tree. And then next to the tree is a little spring, water bubbling up, a little teeny stream. And there's like a little shelf there, a big flat rock. And on the rock, there's a little gift for you for this journey. Just notice what shows up. And I invite you to invite a male ancestor on your right. Just notice who shows up. And a female ancestor on your left. Just noticing who's showing up next to you. And an animal guide, could be an ally or a power animal, showing up in front of you. And then I invite you to just remember your purpose for this journey, which is to reconnect with your original purpose, your original dream, your reason for incarnating, your special gifts, your creativity. And just tucking that question in your heart and just allowing your guides that are with you to take you to either the upper or the lower world. prepare to return. Sharing a gift with whoever you're there with, and then retracing your steps all the way back. Taking a deep breath into your belly, moving your hands and your feet. Knowing that you'll remember everything you need to remember. Stretching and coming back into the room, back all the way into your body. Uh, Taking some time to remember all that happened in your journey. If you have a pen and paper, I used to bring those. Just taking a moment to write it down or to at least go over it in your mind. One of the reasons we went for 2 hours was because we sent the talking stick around and everybody, we
Right.
sang names at the beginning, which took 10 or 15 minutes, and then everybody shared. So I don't know. We have a 2 hour program without sharing.
Right.
Um, but I do want to give people some time to write some things down that came up for them. So maybe we'll just wait 3 or 4 minutes and then do a closing or something. What do you think, Pasha? Okay, that would be nice. I always really appreciate that part of it,
Right.
to, you know, say all the things and then to get some kind of reflection back or some feedback or, see how it went for people. So I like that part.
Yeah, it's very special, that part of the sharing of
Yeah.
our journeys, because we have some amazing experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had lots of whales and dolphins today,
Wow.
which was really nice. But I also want to, while we have this time, I want to encourage people, if you want to come next week, um, we'll be back on the lanai, and so please RSVP for next week's service if you'd like to be here, and to our email address. And this has been an amazing day. We had pouring rain, and yesterday we had amazing thunder, and it was pretty exciting. And now the sun is shining.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's been
Comes
amazing
waves of.
waves. Yes, up and down, just like life. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope everybody had an interesting and good journey, reconnecting in some way with
Yes.
what they came here to do, and
Okay. So we do.
remembering who
Yeah.
we really are.
Right. It is wise to write it down if you can. So sometimes when you look at it later, then the messages really come
Hmm.
of your experience that you had. So encourage that.
And also encourage people if they connected with a power animal or ally, to bring it into the middle world by getting little totems
Yes.
of it, or photo pictures or drawings or whatever, and having an altar or a place that you put it so that whenever you see it, it kind of takes you back to remembering who you really
Yes.
are and what you're really here to do. And sometimes we need those kinds of reminders,
Yes.
from objects.
Yes. I've been blessed to have an owl living out
Oh,
in
wow.
front, and that's my power animal. And when I see him, it's just so wonderful to
Beautiful.
see. And
Yeah.
we actually had an egret right in our front yard the other
Oh,
day, and
wow.
like, what's he doing? Well, he was eating a lizard. And then that was that same evening we saw the owl again for the first time. So,
Oh,
and it is important to honor your power animals because they like to be remembered, and you
right,
don't want them to fade away on you. So
right,
it's good to have reminders of them and thank them.
right. And as I understand it, they're kind of responsible in a way for our like physicalness, for our physical bodies, our health, for empowerment. So, having reminders of them around kind of is a way to reconnect,
Yes.
with our spirit, with ourselves, our higher self, and what we're here to do, and with them. So, I it's nice, and using your drum, the owl becomes 3D. Have you seen that?
No.
So when you do it, um, it let the eyes kind of move in and out, and,
Oh,
and so it
wow.
like it vibrates and it moves, and so I was really enjoying
Oh, good.
watching it,
Thank
and
you.
the owl
Glad you.
fluttering and vibrating and turning into a 3D
Awesome.
wow, during the journey.
Yeah, so it's nice if you have a drum to paint your power animal on there. Yeah.
Someday I made my drum probably 32 years ago, and I still haven't painted on it, but I did paint on this one.
Yes, your beautiful butterfly.
And then this is a koa.
Ah.
Then I actually put my bear on the butterfly
Oh, there's
wings.
your bear. Okay.
But and I painted this one. I painted
You
a
painted your
couple.
hummingbird also?
Yeah, and I painted. Interesting story. I found a drum. I went to someone's house, and there was a kind of a party, and there was a circle with drumming, and I looked over and I'm like, Where'd that come from?" And it was one of my drums that I
Oh,
made like probably almost probably before Mariah's born. She's almost 26, so
wow.
I mean she's almost 27. So
Wow.
I think it was like way when I first started making drums, or when I first got here, because I remember I used to do those T-shirts, and I have this one where it's like a mama whale and a baby
Oh, yeah.
whale, with a circle, and somebody, and I can't even remember what happened when I don't remember making the the drawing. I don't
Oh,
remember Did I
Wow.
sell the drum? Did somebody steal it somewhere along the line? I mean, I just don't
You
know.
don't remember?
I don't remember anything. I just looked across and I said, "Oh my God, that's my drum." And the
Wow.
guy was just like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I have a T-shirt that has the exact same drawing on it. Of course, I know it's my drum." And so he was nice. He had found it at a thrift store,
Oh, wow.
and so he's like, "Okay, you can have your drum
Oh,
back. Are you sure?"
beautiful.
And
Oh, that's
then
beautiful.
actually a friend of mine who's an older woman has really bad arthritis, and she has a kind of a big drum that she can't use anymore because her hands are too sore, and apparently it's got paintings on it and stuff. And so she's like, I need a drum. It's the Equinox. I need a drum. And I pulled out all my drums, and she goes, I want that one, the one with the whales on it that
Of
had
course.
journeyed somewhere else for many, many years and come back to me. I've had it for about a year now, and it had like some stains on it, like, from overspray, and, a dark spot from like maybe being too close to a fire. And and she's like, wheels are my animal. I That's the one I want. So I said, okay, I guess it came back to me, so it could go to you.
Beautiful. And this time you'll remember it.
Right,
You see it where
forever.
it went.
And we took some pictures of it
Oh,
with the shirt and
nice.
everything, and her with it. And actually, she's gonna bring her other drum she can't use anymore, and maybe we'll do a trade. Or hers is probably way more expensive, so I'll have to pay her for her drum or something.
She'll probably just gift it back.
it was really it was really neat. I was glad to see it go to a good home. But I was just astounded to see it come back. I don't know how long. It could have been 20 years since I've
That's
seen it.
amazing. It's
Strange.
like one of your children, though. You
Right.
totally recognized it, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. What a trip. Um, does any what do we want to do? Do we want to just close and then we'll share here, those of us
So
that are
we'll
here?
share amongst ourselves after the.
Yeah, that'll be
Oh,
nice.
I see a thumbs up.
That's what we all agree. Okay,
Okay.
well, then let's imagine that we're standing in a big circle holding hands and sing our closing songs. And I just want to say again that I recommend that we use the principle of telling our truth in a way that is not blaming or judging of anyone, and remembering what we're here for, and being nice to ourselves. And I'm going to offer one more thing, which is the affirmation I shared with Davina a couple weeks ago. s- in the middle of the night when I can't go back to sleep, I just say this to myself. So it's like my affirmation, my prayer, and it really helps me a lot. I am magnificent. I was
Mm,
born magnificent.
mm.
I carry the love and the light of the Creator within me. It is my power, and I use it to create the good, the true, the beautiful, and the holy. That is why I'm here. Aho.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, so imaginary hand holding. You can hold the hands of the people you're at home with, and we'll sing our song. May we
You
walk
walk
in
in beauty
beauty in
in a
a
sacred
sacred
way.
way.
May
May
we
we
walk
walk
in
in
beauty
beauty each
each
and
and every
every
day.
day. May
May
we
we
walk
walk
in
in beauty
beauty
in
in
a
a
sacred
sacred
way.
way. May
May
we
we walk
walk
in
in
beauty
beauty each
each
and
and
every
every day.
day. May
May
the
the
beauty
beauty of
of the
the fire
fire lift
lift
our
our
spirits
spirits higher.
higher.
May
May
the
the beauty
beauty of
of
the
the
earth
earth fill
fill
our
our
hearts
hearts
with
with
mirth.
mirth.
May
May the
the beauty
beauty of
of the
the
rain
rain
wash
wash
away
away
our
our
pain.
pain. May
May the
the
beauty
beauty
of
of
the
the sky
sky teach
teach
our
our
minds
minds
to
to
fly.
fly.
Ooh, I
Mm.
hope everyone out there had a wonderful journey
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
happy equinox